I'm just trying to make sure that I record the meeting. Thank you. Let me listen to Axis.
Okay, my name is Amelia, and my expectation is to really understand the principle of taxation and also to pass the exams at once.
Okay, thank you. Next person, C. Hello, C. Okay, Clement.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Clement.
Okay. So, please, my expectation is to understand the tax laws in Ghana and then pass my exams.
Okay, understand tax laws and pass your exam. Thank you, Derek.
Yeah, my name is Derek, and my expectation is to identify the tricks which will enable me pass principle of taxation.
Okay, thank you, Edwin. Hello, Edwin. Okay, let's go to Emmanuel Jemfi. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello, please.
Yes, what's your expectation for this particular course, Principles of Taxation, as we prepare towards November 2024 exams?
Okay, please. Okay, so with taxation, first of all, I want to get to have an in-depth knowledge about how Ghana tax system is about, and also be able to excel in this course.
Okay, thank you. Irene. Hi, Irene.
Hello, I'm here. Good evening.
Evening, madam.
So mine is not different from my colleagues, except that I would also love to know how it's applicable at my workplace.
Okay.
So basically, it's about understanding the course, passing my exam, and being able to apply it at the place of work.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
Kwame. Hello, Kwame. Okay, Kwame says where he is noisy. Let's go to Millimate. Hello, Millimate.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? I'm driving.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So it's okay to understand the first outline and pass my exams and apply it to my job.
Okay, thank you. Say to two.
Not too much
Osei.
expectation.
Okay.
I just want to pass my exams. That's all.
You just want to pass your exam. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Ramatu. Ramatu.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Sir, please, same expectation, but the only thing I would like to know in addition is also strategy to study to be able to pass well.
Okay. Strategies to study in order to pass your exam. Great. Then Samuel Doku.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, so I'm also having similar expectations. And I heard of the popular VET. So I want to know more and also how it applies to various industries. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have special interest in VAT, right?
Exactly.
Okay, Stanley.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
What's your expectation for?
Yeah, mine is also similar to my colleagues, and to be able to apply it after I've passed my exams.
Okay, apply it after you have passed your exams. Great. Okay, who is the next person? Theophilus. Theophilus, let me hear from you. Hello, Theophilus.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so my expectation is just to get an insight into what taxation is all about. Because, it has the principles that we are doing, which will also accumulate into the final level in a pathway. So a basic understanding of the concept so that we can apply it in the level 3.
Okay, thank you. So I will be taking you in the course together with a senior colleague by name Uncle Johnson, and our lead tutor will be Boss Bill. So this journey we are going to travel, you are not going to travel alone. Myself, Uncle Johnson, and Boss Bill will be involved in this exercise at one point or the other. And I want the class to be interactive, engaging. I'll be giving a lot of assignment. I expect you to do the assignment. I'll be giving you, quizzes, okay? And I can assure you that if you follow the instructions that will be given in this class, your pass mark is guaranteed if you follow simple instructions. Okay. Now back to today's business, tax administration. When we talk about tax administration, first of all, I need you to understand tax administration from this angle, that there are 3 main stakeholders when it comes to tax administration in Ghana. Okay? Who are these stakeholders? We have the Revenue Authority, popularly known as GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority. We have the taxpayer, that is you and I. We are all taxpayers. Then we have the tax consultant or the tax practitioner. The taxpayer can decide to engage the services of a tax consultant to file their tax returns on their behalf or to represent them in a matter involving the Ghana Revenue Authority. Okay, so just understand it from that perspective that when we talk about tax administration, there are 3 main key stakeholders. And who are these stakeholders? The Ghana Revenue Authority, taxpayers, and the tax consultant. To start with, we want to look at the Ghana Revenue Authority. Okay, the Ghana Revenue Authority. Derek, what do you know about the Ghana Revenue Authority? Tell me. Hello, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what do you know about the Ghana Revenue Authority?
Okay, the Ghana Revenue Authority is the institution responsible for collecting all revenue for the government and paying it into the consolidated fund.
Okay. Is the institution mandated to take charge of tax administration in the country, and whatever taxes they collect on behalf of government is paid into the consolidated fund? Thank you, Derek. Let me listen to Irene. Irene, what do you know about the Ghana Revenue Authority?
What I know about the GRA is they are the authority with the responsibility of collecting taxes for the government.
Okay. They have the responsibility of collecting taxes on behalf of government. Okay. Thank you. Before we look at Ghana Revenue Authority proper, let's have a little bit of history. Before the formation of the Ghana Revenue Authority, we used to have, those of us who are a little bit old or have been around for some time, you may have heard of the Value Added Tax Service, okay, the VAT service. We had the Internal Revenue Service. We had SEPS, and we had the Revenue Agency Governing Board. Okay. We had Value Added Tax Service, Internal Revenue Service, SEPS, and the Revenue Agency Governing Board. So it is these bodies that came together to form what we now call the Ghana Revenue Authority. Okay, I think somewhere in 2009. This is how the Ghana Revenue Authority was formed. So now let's go straight into the GRA Act, okay, Act 791, and see what the Act has to tell us. Before we look at what the Act has to tell us about the role of the Ghana Revenue Authority, my co-presenter, Uncle Johnson, is on the call. Let me take his thoughts. Please, if you are not speaking, if you don't have a question, kindly mute so that we don't get any feedback, okay? Thank you. Uncle Johnson, can you tell us something about the Ghana Revenue Authority and how it was formed? If you can hear me, sir. Hello, Uncle Johnson. Okay, it appears he cannot hear me. So let's continue. I need someone to volunteer and read Section 1 of the GRA Act for us. Who is going to do the reading for us?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Establishment of the Ghana Revenue Authority. 1. There is established by this act a body known as the Ghana Revenue Authority. 2. The authority is a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal and may sue and be sued in its corporate name. The authority may, for the performance of its functions, acquire and hold movable or immovable property and may enter into a contract or any other transaction.
Okay.
4.
Please continue.
Where there is a hindrance to the acquisition of property, the property may be acquired for the authority under the State Property and Contracts Act 1960, PA6, or the State Lands Act 1962, Act 125, and the cost shall be borne by the authority.
Thank you. Now, what is the objective of GRA? It's an examinable area, so I want all students on the call to pay attention. Very, very important. We are going to talk about the objectives of the Ghana Revenue Authority. I think right after this, then we also have the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Okay, please proceed.
2. The objectives of the authority are A, provide a holistic approach to tax and customs administration. B, reduce administrative and tax compliance costs and provide better service to taxpayers.
Okay, you can pause there. In the past, if a taxpayer wanted to file tax returns, you now have to go to IRS, Internal Revenue Service, to file your, let's say, your PAYE returns. From there, you have to go to another office, the VAT service, to file your VAT returns. If you have something to do with customs, you go to the customs office. I mean, it was very difficult. The compliance cost was very high. But with all these bodies coming together as one, what it seeks to do is to reduce administrative and tax compliance costs and to provide better service to taxpayers. Okay, Madam, please continue.
C. Promote efficient collection of revenue and the equitable distribution of tax burden and ensure greater transparency and integrity. D. Ensure greater accountability to government for the professional management of tax administration. E. Improve information linkage and sharing of information among the divisions of the authority.
Okay,
F.
so you can pause there. So for example, under the current system, if GRA is coming to audit you, they are most likely to do direct tax, indirect tax. But before GRA was formed, if the VAT service came to your office to audit you, it was going to be purely value-added tax. If they see anything related to income tax, that is not their business. Do you get it? But now, they are one body. So they are able to share information that helps in efficient collection of what? Of taxes. Just by performing an ordinary audit, they would realize that this particular taxpayer is not compliant when it comes to VAT. Quickly, they will conduct a VAT audit on you. Madam, please, let's continue.
F. Provide a one-stop service for taxpayers for the submission of returns and payment of taxes. Provide common tax procedures that enable taxpayers to be governed by a single set of rules. And H. Provide for other matters related to the improvement of, please scroll up, of revenue administration.
So these are the objects of GRA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least you should have 5 of them, okay, at your fingertips. Anytime you are called upon, you should be able to tell the examiner what the objectives of the Ghana Revenue Authority are. Now let's look at the functions. What are the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority? Before you read, you continue with the reading. There is this thing. Okay. So, okay. MD. What have I written on the screen? Hello, MD.
Sir, please, FACA.
FACA. Great. FACA is a mnemonic used to represent the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. What do they exist to do? The Ghana Revenue Authority exists to fine taxpayers. Put it in another way, they identify taxpayers. Please, are we together? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Good. So, if you want to itemize it, you can say that the first function of the Ghana Revenue Authority is to fine taxpayers, or identify taxpayers. Step 2, after identifying taxpayers, what do? They proceed to assess the taxpayer. That is the second function of the taxpayer. Somebody is giving us feedback. Please, who is that? Okay. The GRA would then assess the taxpayer they have identified. What do we mean by assess? To identify the tax liability of the taxpayer. Okay. After assessing the taxpayer, GRA will proceed to collect the taxes from the taxpayer. Okay. Collect what? The taxes from the taxpayer. The A stands for account for the taxes they have collected to the government. And the R involves the role they play in dispute resolution. Okay, in dispute resolution. This is my own way of helping you identify the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. So once I say FACA, I'm referring to find the taxpayer, assess the taxpayer, collect taxes from the taxpayer, and account for the taxes collected to the government. Where there are disputes between the taxpayer and the revenue authority, what role do they play in dispute resolution matters? Now let's read the law and see what the law has to tell us about the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Madam, you can continue.
To achieve the objectives, the authority shall A, assess and collect taxes, interest, and penalties on taxes due to the Republic with optimum efficiency.
Okay, so you can pause there. Before the Revenue Authority can assess a taxpayer, do you agree with me that they will first of all have to find the taxpayer?
Yes.
They will first of all have to identify the taxpayer, i.e., being either you or myself, before they can assess, before they can collect the taxes. Okay, so identifying the taxpayer, in my humble opinion, is very important when it comes to the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Please proceed.
B, pay the amounts collected into the consolidated fund unless otherwise provided by this act and other acts.
So the money that they collect, the taxes they collect, is paid into the consolidated fund. Many years ago, I heard a story of one accountant. He opened an account with one of the bank with the name IRS. That was before the formation of Ghana Revenue Authority. So when he collects check from his employers, he will tell his employers that, oh, he has gone to pay the money to IRS, and he will pay that check into that account called IRS that he has opened.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the law caught up with him. The point I'm trying to make is that the taxes collected by the Ghana Revenue Authority is not paid into an individual's account. It's paid into the consolidated fund. Okay. Madam, please continue.
C, promote tax compliance and tax education.
Okay.
D, combat tax fraud and evasion and cooperate to that effect with other competent law enforcement agencies and revenue agencies in other countries.
Okay. I'm sure some of you would have seen that GRA is on Facebook. Okay. I think GRA is on LinkedIn. I'm not a fan of Instagram, so I can't confirm whether GRA is on Instagram. Can somebody confirm if GRA is on Instagram? Hello? Is GRA on Instagram? At least I can speak to Facebook and LinkedIn, where they try to educate taxpayers on issues related to taxes in Ghana. Very important. Okay, so let's look at E and F.
Advise district assemblies on the assessment and collection of their revenue. Prepare and publish reports and statistics related to its revenue collection.
Okay, thank you. So we have looked at the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Ramatu, can you tell me one of the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. If I'm going by the is it abbreviation, the FACA, they are
Okay,
saying that one function of the Ghana Revenue Authority is to first find or identify taxpayers, because if you are not able to find or identify them, how can you assess them? So that's the first thing we should take note of. And the second aspect is when you find them, you should be able to assess them to be able to know their tax liability, what they're expected to pay. And the other bit is when you're able to know their tax liabilities, you need to collect them. And when you collect them, the next stage is to deposit what you have collected. Or let me say, okay, as part of the collection, it's supposed to be deposited into the consolidated fund. Then you're accountable to a government, that you need to give an account of whatever you are collecting, because that is what the government is also depending on to support its expenditure. And the last bit is to be able to resolve problems arising every now and then or something. Yeah, I think that's the last bit. Okay.
Ramatu, you do all. You didn't leave one for your colleagues. You have done
I
well.
said one. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, so let me hear from Derek. Derek, what are the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority?
Okay, so the function of the Ghana Revenue Authority, going by the FACA. So first, you need to find a taxpayer. So finding the taxpayer, that's when you identify the taxpayer. So you
Okay.
assess the taxpayer. So you look out for what tax is this person is supposed to pay. Is this person supposed to pay PAYE,
Okay.
company income tax, or whatever? You assess it. After that, you collect the tax. And after collection of the tax involves taking the money from the taxpayer or making it compulsory for the person to pay and paying it to the consolidated fund. After that, you account for the tax.
Okay.
So I'm sure that's when the statistics come. GI will come out to say we were able to collect this tax during the year. We achieve our targets. We're not able to achieve our targets. The last part is resolve all disputes. So during the tax collection, there are instances where there are disputes among the taxpayer and GRA. So GRA needs to. That's where there's an avenue for dispute resolution. So they resolve the dispute themselves.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Who else? Osei Tutu. What are the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority?
Some of the functions of Ghana Revenue Authority is to find the taxpayers. Then they need to assess them. You assess them on the amount of tax to collect, and interest, and then also penalties that is due. And then also after assessing them, we collect the tax due, and then we pay it to the Ghana Consolidated Fund.
Okay.
And then we also account for the taxes that we've collected.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Good attempt there. Now let's go back to the first point I mentioned. Find the taxpayer or identify the taxpayer. How does the Ghana Revenue Authority find taxpayers or identify taxpayers? We have now moved away from the GRA Act to what is known as the Revenue Administration Act, Act 915. And we are going to read Section 10, Identifying Taxpayers and Tax Paid. I want another person to read for us. Osei Tutu, can you read for us? Hello, Osei Tutu.
Yeah. Identifying taxpayers and tax paid. Okay. For the purpose of identification of taxpayers and promoting tax compliance, the Commissioner General shall maintain a system of A, taxpayer identification numbers, and B, tax clearance certificates.
Pause there. So if you are asked how the authority is able to identify taxpayers, what you have just read is very important. GRA is able to identify taxpayers through what is known as taxpayer identification number. Okay, taxpayer identification number, TIN for short. Please don't say TIN number. What did I say? Hello?
TIN
Don't
number.
say TIN number. It is
Never
TIN.
say TIN number. It is either taxpayer identification number or TIN. Okay? If you say TIN number, you are not part of my class. Maybe you came from somewhere. So that is what is used to identify what? Taxpayers. Before the Ghana card was used as a taxpayer identification number, there used to be a system where you go and register and they give you a unique number. If you are an individual, that number starts with P. Is there anybody on the call who ever got that number?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay.
It's 13
Abeta, when did
digits.
you get that? Do you remember the year?
I think 2018,
2016.
19.
Okay. Who else?
I got mine in 2016.
In 2016.
Yes.
Okay. That starts with P, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I read somewhere that when that system was in place, only 4% of eligible taxpayers had that number. But when they changed it and decided to use the Ghana card number, it shot up from 4% to 84%. In Akan, we say that upeu, umpeu, when you're 10 by virtue of the Ghana card. You get it? So the 10 is a means the GRA uses to identify what? Taxpayers. Then we have the tax clearance certificate. Okay? The tax clearance certificate. Who has seen a tax clearance certificate before? Please, let's share ideas. Who has seen a tax clearance certificate before? Hello, Kwame. Have you seen one before? Hello, Kwame. Okay, Kwame can't hear me. Henry, have you seen a tax clearance certificate before? Do you know how it looks like? Derek.
Okay, so I haven't seen one, but I know, but I think
Please,
I have an idea of what is that.
Okay.
please, I've seen one before.
Okay. Alberta, you have seen one before.
Yes.
How does it look like? What are the features of the tax clearance certificate?
It has the tin of the taxpayer. It has the name,
Alberta, you are
year of
fast. I was waiting to
assessment.
hear TIN number, but you didn't say TIN number. You are fast. Please
The
go
year
ahead.
of assessment, the purpose, and then it has number one, that's the tin, the name, year of assessment, and then the purpose. And then the two, it has the corporate income tax, and then the pay as you earn. And then the three is, it has a table. Mine is for individual. I'm talking about individual tax clearance certificate.
Okay.
And then it has the summary of the income tax position for like the years that has been assessed. So the person was assessed for 2021, 2023. So you have the year of assessment, the turnover, chargeable income, tax charge, tax paid, and then the tax outstanding.
Excellent.
And then number four is the validity period. So it's valid up to 2023, blah, blah, blah. And it's been signed by the Commissioner General.
Okay.
And it has an SN number. SN, it's a number that is
Okay, so let's
beneath
take
it.
it one by one. It has a date, right?
Yes, please.
It has
It has a
the
date. And the
tin
issuing
of the
office.
applicant
Yes.
and the tax office.
Yes.
Okay. Apart from the tin, it has the name of the taxpayer.
Yes, and then the employer.
Okay.
So the employee and then the employer for the individual.
Okay, in the case of the individual, the employer will have to be stated on there. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say
company.
Kojo Menu and works for KPMG. So Kojo Menu, KPMG.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. So then there's a table, okay, that shows the tax position of the person, right?
Yes, it summarizes the income tax position of the person.
Okay, great. Then on the tax clearance certificate, the validity period is also stated.
Yes, please.
Whether it is for 3 months or 1 month, whatever it is, it will be stated on the tax clearance certificate, right?
Yes, please.
Then the officer that signed the certificate, if it's the office manager, you see a seal and a signature.
Yes, please.
Okay. Have we left out anything?
No, and then I think the certificate has a unique number, so it's written beneath it.
Okay, it has a unique number. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. So you can have a question where they will tell you to state the features of a tax clearance certificate. I'll look for one and wipe out the confidential or sensitive information and share it on your page for you. Okay.
Okay, I will say I have a copy, so I can.
But make sure you don't share any confidential information.
No,
okay?
no, I would just delete, as in wipe.
Exactly. Thank you. So
Okay.
let's continue.
Does it not have the GRA logo on it or anything?
It has the GRA logo. It has Republic of Ghana logo on it as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So that is it. Now, please, any question?
Hello, how about a seal? I know it is supposed to have a seal on it to authenticate the document.
Yes, I think I mentioned that there is a seal
Okay.
where the office manager will sign. Okay, where the office manager will sign, you will normally see the seal there. Okay. These days, we have even moved away from the paper tax clearance certificate to the electronic tax clearance certificate. We'll be talking more about that when we come to IT reforms in taxation. Okay. When we come to IT reforms in taxation. Okay. We are now at the first schedule of the Revenue Administration Act.
Okay, sir. I think there are some comments at the chat slide. Maybe if you can go through for us.
Okay, somebody is saying from Henry, hello, sir. I'm sorry I can't speak out, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can only speak. Is that your concern?
I think he said he can only ask questions through the chat. So you should be going through the chat to see if there's any question from that side too.
Okay, that's fine. Can we make progress?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your name, sir?
Oh, please, I'm Stanley.
So read the first schedule for us.
Oh, okay. So transactions for which taxpayer identification number or tax clearance certificate is required.
So there are
Part one.
some transactions that if you want to engage in TIN or TCC is required. Please take note of that. These two things we have mentioned, TIN, TCC, there are some transactions that if you don't have any of these, you cannot engage in. My boss, please continue.
Okay, so the part one is the taxpayer identification number system. Number one, the taxpayer identification number system applies to the following. One, the Ghana Revenue Authority. Let's see if we can scroll. Number two, the Controller and Accountant General's Department. Three, the Registrar General's Department. Four,
Now, their name has changed. Who can tell me their new name? Office of the Registrar of Companies. Please continue.
Okay. Number four, the Registrar of Cooperatives. Five, the Lands Commission. Six, the Immigration Service. Seven, the Passport Office. Eight, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority.
Please
Nine.
pause there.
All right.
Did you hear the current vice president say that without blah, 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 you cannot get driver's license?
Yes, so
okay, boss, please continue. This is not for
it
politics.
says even when he's in power, you wouldn't need to fill a lot of forms for the passport. You just have to take your Ghana card to the passport office and they'll issue you the passport.
Okay. Boss, please continue.
Okay.
Let's stick to taxation. We are not politicians.
So the number nine is the court.
Please take note. Number 9 has been struck out. It's no longer valid. Somebody took this portion to the court, and the court ruled that this is not constitutional. Please, do you understand? What this meant was that if somebody does not have a taxpayer identification number and you went to the court will not listen to you. Please, do you understand? And somebody took this to court that if that happens, you are denying people of their right. So number 9 has been cancelled. It's no longer valid.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Number 10, ministries, departments, and agencies. 11, metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. 12, government, subdivisions of government, and public institutions not listed above. 13, persons required to withhold tax under the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896. 14, banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutions. 15.
These days, when you go to the bank to open an account, did they demand your taxpayer identification number?
No, just the Ghana card.
Just the Ghana card.
But the Ghana card is your
10.
your thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But then when you are, still the registration documents, they have the individual thing there.
Yes.
And then, yeah, so I don't know. I think
But I understand
Office
what
of the
you are
Registrar
saying.
of Companies should be able to take that one out and replace it with the Ghana card
Ghana
number.
card.
Please, this one, don't say it loud though. If they hear, they will not be happy with you. Maybe for academic purposes. Let's continue. Number 15.
Number 15, manufacturing companies. And 16, any other institution or person which the minister may by regulations prescribe.
So what we are saying is that for all these institutions listed here, you need a taxpayer identification number in order to transact business with them. Please, do you understand?
Yes.
Now, let's go to 2. Who is reading 2 for us?
Okay. 2, use of taxpayer identification number for specified transactions. A person shall not be permitted, 1, to clear any goods from any port or factory. 2, to register any title to land, interest in land, or any document affecting land. 3, to obtain any tax clearance certificate from the Ghana Revenue Authority. 4, to obtain a certificate to commence business or a business permit issued by the Registrar General or the local authority. 5, to register a cooperative.
So we are saying that without a taxpayer identification number, you cannot clear goods from any port. You cannot register any title to land in this country. If you don't have TIN, you cannot obtain a tax clearance certificate from GRA. Do you get it? It goes on and on and on. Now let us see tax clearance certificate. There are some things that when you are about to do, a tax clearance certificate is required. What are those things? So when it comes to Ghana Revenue Authority, there are some transactions that if you are going to get yourself involved, then you would have to produce a tax clearance certificate. What are those things? I need another reader. Alberta, can you read for us?
All right, sure. Ghana Revenue Authority, things required to request for tax clearance. When you are importation of goods in commercial quantities, customs clearing and forwarding, application for license under the Customs Act 2015 Act 891, application for license under the Excise Act 2014 Act 878. Land commission, title registration and transactions.
So if you go there to register your land and you don't have a tax clearance certificate, the Lands Commission should not even look at your face. Don't you think it's a good thing?
It is so, but I don't think it's effective.
We have to encourage them to do it. We have to encourage them. Okay, that is why we are studying this course. Please continue.
Lands Commission, title registration and transactions. Government ministries, government agencies, local government, contracts, including contracts of supply of goods, works, and services.
Okay, so with government ministries, if you want any contract, they will ask you to bring what? A tax clearance certificate, okay? If you belong to a professional body and you want to renew your practicing license, maybe you are a member of ICAG, you want to renew your practicing license, a member of CITG, you have to produce a tax clearance certificate. Please, any question on the purpose of the TIN and TCC? Okay, thank you, Alberta, for sharing
You're
that on the
welcome.
WhatsApp page for us. Please, any question? Hello? Any question? We have looked at how the Revenue Authority identify taxpayers. Any question? If you don't ask, I will ask.
Okay, sir, before you ask, I want to draw Alberta to attention to something. The QR code on the tax credit clearance certificates, she didn't cover it and the SN number.
Yeah, you can scan it. Let me do it. And what number too, please?
The SN certificate, SN number below. So please.
Okay.
Okay. Are we together? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we have done so far is to exhaust the first step under the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. That is to find or identify taxpayers. When GRA succeeds in finding the taxpayer, they will register the taxpayer for the various tax types that relate to the taxpayer. Are they going to register you for direct tax, indirect tax, whatever it is? They will register you, okay? Now let's come to the second point. GRA will assess the taxpayer. How does GRA assess taxpayers? That is the first question I want to ask before we proceed. How does GRA assess taxpayers?
One way is through tax audits.
One way is through tax audit. Thank you.
Yes.
I think I made a mistake by projecting this, but
No,
it shows
no,
that you're also smart.
They just audited me last week. They ended the audit on Friday, so it's not from the slide, but I'm just saying it based on practicality.
Excellent.
But I was audited just last week. Friday was
Great.
the exit.
So we'll be relying on you to share more practical experience with your colleagues on the call. Hello?
Okay, sir. I'm with you.
Okay. So let's listen to others. How does GRA assess taxpayers? Yes, let's listen to you.
So could it be filing as you file your returns?
Excellent. When you file your returns, the authority will use that return to assess you. Okay? The authority will use that return to assess you. So even before we read section 36, I want us to look at assessment, okay, from the perspective of the law. Okay, let's look at that from the perspective of the law. Okay, so who is going to read for us? I want somebody who has not spoken.
Edwin.
Great, Edwin. Somebody has nominated you. Edwin, can you read for us?
Okay. Assessment of tax is made by A, self-assessment, where a person is obliged to file a tax return.
Okay.
B, the Commissioner General making an assessment in other cases, including where a self-assessment is adjusted.
Thank you. Pause there. So, how does the Ghana Revenue Authority assess taxpayers? They assess taxpayers based on self-assessment. Can you see that? Then, through what is known as the Commissioner General's assessment. Don't forget these two things. Through self-assessment and Commissioner General's what? Assessment. Now the question is, what is self-assessment? Anybody to tell us what it is? Or say to what is self-assessment?
I think
Okay,
the
I
self-assessment
think
will have to.
self-assessment is when the taxpayer assess his business and determine how much profit he might be making at the end of the period, and account for tax liability on the business. So he himself assessed himself.
Thank you. Irene, you wanted to make a point.
Yes, so to add to what he just said, the taxpayer can also get the services of a tax consultant.
Okay.
To do that and file on their behalf.
Okay. The person who spoke before Irene, your name? Hello? Is that Theophilus? Okay. Let's listen to Osei Tutu. What is self-assessment? You'll be hearing this word over and over again before you sit your paper in November. Self-assessment. As a student of principles of taxation, you should be able to explain this word to the examiner in your own words. Osei Tutu, what is self-assessment? Okay.
For a moment, I thought they saved me, but the question still came back.
Yes, because I want you to talk.
Answer your question.
Self-assessment will be when a person calculates or files his tax returns on their own without the help of the Commissioner General. Yes,
Okay.
I understand it.
Okay. Thank
I just
you.
want to add something to it.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, my understanding to it is before you can file your tax, that means you first record whatever that goes on. So based on your recordings or maybe your statements or whatever you generate, or based on maybe your audited account, you are able to provide some estimates, or let me say some accounting this thing to file your return. So when you do that, with that one, you are doing the assessment yourself without any officer from GRA.
Okay. Okay. I think the explanation is in the name. Okay, self-assessment. I mentioned earlier that assessment simply means determination of tax liability. So if you want to explain this in your own words, this is where the taxpayer, okay, determines his or her own tax liability. So for example, and don't forget that when we say person in tax, it refers to an individual or an entity. Please, what did I say?
A person refers to an
Refers to an
individual.
individual or an entity.
This is a very important concept in taxation you should never forget. If you are reading the tax law and you come across the word person, in your mind, you should know that it is referring to either an individual or an entity. Do you get it? Please, do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay. So when we say self-assessment, that is where a person assesses himself or herself for taxes. For example, do you know that the PAYE system that we operate is a form of self-assessment?
Yes.
You tell GRA that these are the number of workers I have, and this is how much tax is due them at the end of this month, and you pay. The VAT system we have, where you declare your revenue, okay, your levies payable, and your output VAT also payable, it's a form of a self-assessment. Why is it self-assessment? It is the taxpayer that declares the tax liability payable, if any. Please, we understand.
Yes.
Okay. Now, away from self-assessment, we have what is known as what? The Commissioner General's assessment. This is where the Commissioner General would then come in and assess a taxpayer for taxes. So, for example, we are all required to file our taxes on or before, as individuals, on or before 30th April every year. If you fail to file your tax returns by the 30th of April, the Commissioner General will be compelled to issue you an assessment, and that is known as Commissioner General's what? Assessment. Please, do we understand? Hello?
Yes, please.
Okay. So please, let's continue. The person who was reading can continue for us. You can start from 1. With this understanding, I think the reading will make more sense.
Edwin was the one reading. Where is he?
Edwin.
One assessment of tax is made of a self-assessment, where a person is obliged to file a tax return, and the Commissioner General making an assessment in other cases, including where a self-assessment is adjusted. 2, where a person fails to file a tax return on time, the Commissioner General may, using best judgment and information reasonably available to the Commissioner General, assesses the person.
Okay.
3, the Commissioner General may adjust an assessment. 4, the Commissioner General may make an assessment at any time, including an adjusted assessment where the Commissioner General discovers a case of fraud, willful default, or serious omission by or on behalf of a taxpayer.
Edwin.
Yes, please.
Please pause. Do I have anybody on the call who has tried filing returns on behalf of maybe your director or somebody, and GRA will tell you that we will not accept this one? The amount is too small. Anybody like that?
Yes.
Please,
Hello.
can you share your experience with us?
My experience was that I was charging the 4% VAT on goods in the office. So when I took it to their office, I was told that they were using the standard rate of 21.9% instead of the 4%. So the check I took to their office was rejected, and I had to return it back to the office in order to make these adjustments before they accept the check.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to go into VAT at this point so that your friends who have little or no idea about VAT, they don't get confused. But I understand what you are saying. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can send your self-assessment return to GRA and they will tell you that we would not accept it. The tax liability is too low. We will not accept it. Then the Commissioner General will adjust it and tell you that pay this amount. Okay, that is what? An adjusted assessment. Then 4 tells us that in a situation where the Commissioner General discovers an issue of fraud, willful deceit, and serious omission on the part of a taxpayer, it gives the Commissioner General sufficient grounds to adjust an assessment. Please, do you understand? Maybe you have been audited and you have been slapped with a tax liability of 500,000 Ghana cedis. But later they discovered that, Charlie, there was serious omission. They will come back and adjust that assessment. Please, do you understand? Hello, colleagues.
Yes, please.
Yes, yes, sir.
I need your feedback. I'm not a fan of Liverpool. I never walk alone.
Okay, sir. We are with you.
Okay. Great. So let's continue from 4. Let's continue from 4. Edwin.
Okay. The Commissioner General may make an assessment at any time, including an adjusted assessment where the Commissioner General discovers a case of fraud, willful default, or serious omission by or on behalf of a taxpayer. Subject to subsection 4, the power of Commissioner General to make an original assessment expires 6 years from the date on which the Commissioner General was entitled to make an assessment.
Okay.
B.
This one is connected to section 27. We'll get there, so don't worry yourself. Let's go to B.
B. An adjusted assessment expires 6 years from I. The due date for filing the tax return that gives rise to the assessment, or if later, the date the tax return is filed where self-assessment is adjusted. II, the date on which the Commissioner General serves the notice of assessment on the taxpayer where any other original assessment is adjusted, or the date referred to in the subparagraph I or II in respect of the original assessment that is adjusted where an adjusted assessment is adjusted. 6, an assessment made under this section is treated as an assessment made under the law that charges the person or subject matter assessed.
Okay, so this is where we started from. The Commissioner General assesses taxpayer or taxpayers through self-assessment and the Commissioner General's what? Assessment. We went a step further to identify in the law that after an initial assessment, the Commissioner General has the power to adjust an initial assessment in the case of what? Fraud, willful default, or serious omission. When these things happen, the Commissioner General has the power to adjust an earlier assessment. Very important. Now let's go back to the issue of audit. Section 36. I need another person, preferably a lady, who is going to read for me.
The C or Ramatu.
Okay, C.
Okay,
Can you read for us?
82.
The female.
Okay,
C.
Axis, please read for us. Axis.
Okay, section 13.
Okay, 36.
36.
Okay.
The Commissioner General may, in the exercise of powers under this Act, including Section 33 and 35, audit the tax affairs of a person.
Pause there.
Okay.
The law is making reference to two earlier sections, 33 and 35. Let's see what is there. 33 talks about access to information and assets. Okay. The Commissioner General should be granted access to information and assets of the taxpayer. Then 35 is notice to obtain information. Okay, now let's go back and read.
36. The Commissioner General may, in the exercise of powers under this Act, including sections 33 and 35, audit the tax affairs of a person. The Commissioner General may select a person for an audit having regard to A, the history of the person with respect to compliance or non-compliance with tax laws.
Okay.
B, the amount of tax payable by the person. C, the class of business or other activity conducted by the person.
Okay.
D, criteria developed under a compliance management plan, which may include random selection of returns for audit. Or E.
You pause there. Let's take it one after the other.
Okay.
So the Commissioner General may select a person. Who is a person?
An individual or a company.
Or an entity.
Or an entity.
Individual or an entity.
Thank you. So the Commissioner General may select a person for an audit having regard to the history of the person with respect to compliance or non-compliance. So these are the factors that the Commissioner General would always look at in selecting a taxpayer for audit. Your level of compliance. How compliant are you? Okay. Are you filing your PAYE returns at all? If you file, do you file on time? Do you pay the appropriate taxes? Your level of compliance with the tax law is very key. Then number 2, the amount of tax payable by the person. Colleagues on the call, let me ask you a question. You have limited staff, okay, to audit taxpayers. One taxpayer is owing you, let's say, 20,000. Another taxpayer is owing you 20 million. Which of them would you go after?
20 million.
20 million. Okay, so the amount of tax payable by the person is also one of the factors that the Commissioner General looks at in selecting a taxpayer for an audit. The third point is the class of business or other activity conducted by the person. So, for example, GRA can decide that this year, let's focus our attention on financial institutions and audit them. Okay?
Yeah.
A class of business. They can also decide that this year, let's focus on the telcos and audit them. Okay? Or they can say that this year, let's focus on the malls. If you have ever been to the mall, you see some GRA officers stationed there doing
Okay, so
some serious supervision.
So that's the reason last year they went to China Mall and all of that.
I don't work for them, so I don't know why they went to China Mall.
No, I think last year those businesses were more in the news with respect to GRA and their activities.
Okay.
So this more,
Yeah.
So looking at
that's
the class
also,
of business,
the class of business or other activity conducted by the person. Okay. Very important. Then criteria developed under a compliance management tool, maybe a random selection. Okay. Then they pick up your file and they decide to come and audit you. Other factors that the Commissioner General considers relevant in ensuring collection of tax due, i.e., tip-off. There is this disgruntled employee of a company. He runs to GRA to go and do kokonsa.
Whistle blowing.
Sometimes with full information or half-baked information.
Yeah.
And they will go and tell them, come to my company. They are doing A, B, C, and D. The next time you see GRA is at your office, they want to come and audit you. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So these are the things that GRA looks out for in selecting taxpayers for audit. How many have we looked at?
5.
Okay, so let me take it off and see if we can mention them. Derek, just mention one. Nobody should mention 2. Derek, mention 1. Oh, Derek, don't disappoint me. Oh. Okay, Collins. Hello, Collins.
Hello, sir.
Everybody is muted.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you, Kwame.
Please, Collins.
Okay, Collins.
Please, the amount of tax payable by the taxpayer.
The amount of tax payable by the taxpayer. Thank you. Emmanuel Jamefi. Hello, Emmanuel Jamefi. Please, you can't come to this class and be quiet too. Okay, Irene. Hello, Irene. Hey.
Hey.
Anna mother.
Sylvia.
Dabi and diet, no.
Aha. So tell me something.
The class of business or other activities conducted by the person.
Okay. Thank you. Kwame. Hello, Kwame. Okay, Stanley. Sylvia.
The class of business.
The class of business. Okay. Theophilus.
Say the compliance or non-compliance attitude of the taxpayer.
Okay, the level of compliance. Okay, Ramatu. Ramatu.
Sir, when
Yes.
there's any type of displease, by displeased and maybe
I knew
employee
that
or
is what you
member.
are going to say, Ramatu.
Okay, let me say another one.
Okay.
When there are maybe some red flags on the documents you present, they can decide to.
Excellent. Excellent. Maybe you have submitted your returns or your financial statement. They have done a DEX audit and they have seen that you are a risky taxpayer. They can select you for an audit. That's an excellent point. Thank you. Okay, I'll say it to two. Hello, I'll say it to two. Yes, let's hear from you.
Please, the question again.
What are the indicators that GRA looks out for in selecting taxpayers for an audit?
Okay, the amount of tax to be paid.
Okay, what else?
Random selection.
Okay, management plan.
When
Okay.
there is a tip off or whistle blowing.
Tip off, whistle blowing, excellent. I said
Class
to
of
keep on going. Class of business.
Class of business.
I like your piece. Keep on going, yes.
Level of compliance.
The level of compliance. Excellent. Excellent. I like that. Henry. Edwin. Hello, Edwin.
Hello.
Yes. Tell me something.
Oh, I should tell you what they've already said, or because I have no
Tell me
addition.
something, Edwin.
Say something before you die.
Okay. The level of compliance
Okay.
and the class or the type of the business or the class of the business and the amount of tax payable by the taxpayer
Okay.
and a tip off or whistleblower. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. You've done well. You've done well. I'm impressed. Okay. So let's go back to what we're doing. Where did we? Okay. I think we have exhausted this point. We have exhausted this point. The next thing I want us to look at is returns. Is returns. Very important. What is a return? What is a return? Hello.
Yeah, a return is
Hi.
a return is a document that has been worked on after that transaction year has, how will I put it? Okay, a return is a financial year accounting that a company or a business or individual put up at the end of the accounting year, which demonstrate the revenues, the expenses, and the profits gained by that entity.
Okay. That's a very good attempt. Let's listen to others. Stanley, what is a tax return?
I have just spoken, sir.
Oh, sorry. Sylvia.
Sylvia, yeah.
A return is like a form of a statement that is normally sent to the Commissioner General at the end of the year, showing the income of an individual or an entity.
Okay. That's a good attempt. Sylvia. Let's hear from Kwame. Kwame hasn't spoken today. Oh. He's dodging all my questions. Idisa.
Can I try?
Hello.
I haven't
Hello.
spoken.
Hello. Yes.
It looks like the lady wants to speak. So
The lady wants to speak.
yes, I heard a lady say that.
Okay, you go
spoken
ahead. The lady will
sometime.
talk later.
Okay, so a return or returns are documents, the necessary documents that a person, in this case, an individual or an entity would require in order to aid it or aid him file the necessary returns at the tax office, either through self-assessment or assessment via the commissioner general.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking for something, but that point is not coming out.
Okay, so
Yes.
Okay.
I've been off for a little, but I don't know whether someone have said it, but let me try. A
Okay,
return
Derek, please go
is
ahead.
basically the tax that you are supposed to pay.
Okay. A tax return is the tax you are supposed to pay. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Not really. Not really.
Let me try.
Okay.
Okay. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Hello.
You are audible.
Okay, let me try. I think a tax return is an official statement that states the income of a person and any deductions that is allowable from for any year of assessment. And it's usually like from the from the person's
Your network
employment, business, or investment, and it's statutory.
okay.
Hello.
A good
It's
attempt,
very
but your
bad today. I've
network
been
is
moving and
blinking.
moving. Can you hear me?
It's better
Okay, can
now.
I take it again?
Please do.
Okay. I'm saying that a tax return is an official statement that contains the income of a person and any deductions allowable for any year of assessment from either the person's income, business, or investment. And it is statutory.
Okay. Okay.
Like it's a statutory requirement.
Okay. I'm still looking for a particular phrase. I'm looking for a particular phrase. I said it too. Do you have that magic word? Maybe you have been able to consult Okonfo-Anokye and he has given you the magic word. I said it too.
Hello, Danny.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Collins.
Please, is it for a period
Okay, the phrase
specified
I'm
by law?
looking for is a prescribed form, in a prescribed form. You see that the returns that taxpayers complete is something that has been designed by the Commissioner General already, true or false?
True.
True.
So, because of that, we say it is a prescribed what? Form by the Commissioner General that solicits information from taxpayers in respect of their tax affairs. On your screen, you see second schedule of the Revenue Administration Act talking about tax returns and assessment, giving us examples of tax returns. Who is going to read for us? Who is going to read for us? Irene, can you read for us? Irene, can you read for us?
Okay, sir. So
Thank you.
tax returns and assessment. Tax returns. The tax returns for the purpose of this act are as follows. A. In relation to income tax, a return of income filed under Section 124 of the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896, and II, a statement of tax withheld filed under Section 117 of Income Tax Act 2015, into brackets Act 896. B. In relation to petroleum income tax, a return filed under Section 7(3), subsection 1 of the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896. II, a fresh return filed under Section 73, subsection 4 of the
Please pause
Income.
there. So what the law is doing at this stage is to tell us the types of tax returns. So we have tax returns that relates income tax. Okay. We have tax returns that relate petroleum income tax. Can you see that? You see
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
E.
yes, sir.
C is tax returns related to VAT. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
We have
Yes, sir.
returns that relate excise duty. We have returns that has to do with import declaration. How many have you seen? 5. Okay. We have stamp duty, airport tax, different types of what? Tax returns. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Different types of what? Tax returns. That is all that we are going through here. If you are here and you have never seen a tax return before, can I see raise up your hand, your digital hand? Let me see. If you have never seen a tax return before, let me see if I have. Okay, Irene hasn't seen one before. Wow. Let me see if I have one here. Returns. Let me check here if I have one on my desktop. VAT returns. Okay. This is confidential. I can't share this. Just a moment. I want to quickly go to the GRA website and just get one for you to see. GRA. Just give me a minute. Let me get that for you. So whilst I'm looking for a tax return to share with you, if you have any question, please, you can ask.
Okay, so I have a question, but not related to what we've just done.
If only I have the capacity to answer you.
Okay, so I want to first of all know if there's another platform for other courses.
Other courses like?
Public sector accounting.
Okay, there's
Okay,
a
because
platform for management accounting. There's a platform for corporate reporting.
okay.
I think all the other papers.
During our last meeting, I raised a concern that I am going to be writing public sector accounting and then principles of taxation.
Okay.
But on the timetable, it so happens that those two courses are on the same date, the same time. But
You
Prof
mean
said he
on
was going to do
exam
something
day?
about.
On
No, I mean
exam
on
day?
no, please. The class, our class timetable.
Oh, really?
Yes, I raised the concern and Prof said he was going to make them look into it, but I haven't heard from him yet.
Okay. Please,
And I don't know.
you are on the page, so just send me a reminder on the page at the end of the class.
Okay.
I will consult him and get back to you. I don't know why
Thank you
the
very much.
network is slow. I don't want this thing to take our time. So I would look for a couple of tax returns and I will share them on the page. Okay. For you to see how a tax return is. For those of us on the call who are working, at the end of every month, when we receive our salary, our employers are required to withhold tax from our income and remit same to Ghana Revenue Authority on or before the 15th day of the following month. Okay, that return is known as pay as you earn return. We call it PAYE for short. Okay, PAYE. You also have what is known as withholding tax returns. If you are a taxpayer other than an individual, somebody is saying you can't see my screen. I'm not projecting anything. See, I'm not projecting anything. Okay. So I was talking about tax returns, okay? If you're a taxpayer other than an individual and you are paying others for services that are not exempted from withholding tax, you are required by law to withhold and also pay same to the authority on or before the 15th day of the following what month. There is a return for that. there is a separate return for VAT. Okay, there is a return for excise duty. There is a return for communication service tax. These are all examples of tax returns. Okay, these are all examples of tax return. By way of recap, I want someone to tell us what we have been discussing so far.
Hello,
Theophilus,
sir.
yes, let
Hello,
me hear from you. See,
sir. Sorry, my background was noisy and my network too was messing up.
okay,
That's why I couldn't talk. And please, I have a question.
okay, please go ahead and ask.
I want to ask if the Commissioner General assessment is the same as the administrative assessment.
You want to find out if the Commissioner General's assessment is the same as what?
I've heard about administrative assessment before, but when I
Okay,
was listening, I didn't really hear about that. I heard Commissioner General's own. So I want to know if they are the same.
okay. Technically, no. Because
Okay.
when we read the law specifically mentioned self-assessment and Commissioner General's assessment. I guess you saw that.
Yes, please.
See, did you see that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I saw it, please.
If in practice they have their own terminologies and other things that they do, then that's fine. It's something that maybe is amongst them as staff of GRA. But as far as the law is concerned, we have self-assessment, we have Commissioner General's assessment, and an adjusted what? Assessment. I don't know
Okay.
if that answers your question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I was
Yes, sir.
asking what we have been discussing so far. I want somebody to just give us a recap of what we have been discussing since 6:15. Anybody?
Okay, sir.
Okay, Theophilus.
Yeah, sir. So we began with looking at what tax administration is, and then we discussed the three main stakeholders in the Ghanaian tax system, which is the GRA, taxpayers, and then the tax consultants. And then you took us back to the synopsis of the GRA from the Internal Revenue Service to its metamorphosing into the GRA that we have currently. And then we also looked at the objects and then the functions of the GRA, where we also talked about the FACA, and then you gave us the acronym, and then you took us through it. And then we also came to what tax returns are, and then the various forms of tax returns.
Okay, thank you. Any other person? I want tax to be part of you. Okay, I don't want you to struggle to understand tax. You shouldn't struggle at all. At the end of this evening's discussion, you should be able to speak to the objectives of the Ghana Revenue Authority, the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. When you go somewhere and they are talking about identifying taxpayers, you should be able to speak to the issue. Assessment of taxpayers, you should be able to speak to the issues. Okay? Yes, any other person?
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
Please, we talked about how to identify a taxpayer,
Okay.
which is through the TIN and the TCC.
Okay.
Yes. and where each one will be needed let's say in a transaction. So if you are dealing with the DVLA, Passport Office, Lands Commission, the district assemblies and the metropolitan assemblies, you will need a TIN. Even when you are dealing with the banks, you will need a TIN.
Okay.
Likewise, when you are renewing your practicing professional license, or you are clearing your goods from the port, or you are seeking contracts from government, be it goods, service, or works, you need to supply a TCC.
Okay. Excellent. I like that. We cannot end today's discussion without talking about what tax is. We are talking about tax administration, tax administration. What is the meaning of the word tax? Okay. I want somebody who hasn't spoken today.
At all.
Yes. Somebody who hasn't spoken at all. Is Kwame a ghost or what? Hello, Kwame.
When you mention the name, no one responds.
Okay, Stanley.
Stanley has been talking though.
But
Theophilus.
from the look of things, Theo too has been talking. Irene has been talking. Edwin has spoken. Derek has spoken. Okay. Collins, you read for us. Hello, Collins.
How is that?
Please read for us.
Okay. Is it the tax and taxpayers?
Yes, that's where I want you to read.
Okay. Tax and taxpayers. For the purpose of the Act, tax means a duty, levy, charge, rate, fee, interest, penalty, or any other amount imposed by a tax law or to be collected by or paid to the Commissioner General under a tax law.
So what is tax? Tax means what? Duty, levy, charge, rate, fee, interest, penalty, or any other amount imposed by a tax law or to be collected by or paid to the Commissioner General under a tax law. You cannot call yourself a student of principles of taxation when you don't know the meaning of the word tax. Section 9 of the the Revenue Administration Act defines what tax is as what? A duty, levy, charge, rate, fee, interest, penalty imposed by a tax law. Please continue.
Without limiting subsection 1, tax includes A. Withholding tax or an amount that should have been collected or withheld by a withholding agent.
Okay.
B. Interest and penalties imposed by assessments under Section 77.
So interest
C.
and penalties is also a form of what? Of tax. Withholding tax is a form of what? Tax. Please continue.
C. An amount required to be paid to the Commissioner General from a tax debtor or taxpayer under Section 98 into bracket 4, or a taxpayer under Section 54 into bracket 5.
Okay, so this is also tax. Let's go to D.
D. An amount required to be paid by the Commissioner General by a third party in respect of a tax liability of another person under Section 58, 1,
What this is
59, 4, or 7.
talking about is this. Please, who is speaking? Is that Collins?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm going to make an illustration using Collins, Alberta, and Axis. Okay, no, Collins and Alberta. Collins owes GRA 10,000 Ghana cedi. GRA has been chasing Collins for the past 3 months, and Collins hasn't paid. Just yesterday, GRA got information that Alberta is owing Collins, okay, 15,000. And GRA has written to Alberta that, dear Alberta, we have heard that you owe Collins 15,000, but Collins also owes us. So we are directing you to pay the 10,000 cedis out of the amount he owes to us. In the scenario I have created, Alberta becomes a third-party debtor to GRA. Please, do we understand?
Yes, please.
Are you
Please
sure
take it
you
again, sir.
understand?
Please take it again.
Yes, please.
Yes,
I'm
please.
saying that our good friend Collins, he owes GRA an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis. GRA has been chasing him. Collins says he doesn't have money to pay. Then GRA gets information that Alberta is owing Collins 15,000. And GRA writes a letter or sends a notice, okay, to Alberta that Alberta, Collins is owing us. So that money you are planning to pay Collins, don't pay to Collins, pay to us. At this point, when GRA has served Alberta with that notice, Alberta becomes what is known in tax administration as a third-party debtor.
You owe by force.
What was ordinarily the liability of Collins has now become the headache of Alberta. Please, do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But why should it be so, sir?
Yes, sir.
Somebody is asking, why should it be so? Why shouldn't it be so?
No, this is not fair. They should concentrate on whoever is owing them and leave the third party alone.
Oh, who agrees with him?
Me.
I agree.
Hey, you have a lot of support too. Axis, you support him.
No, you said who agrees with you.
Ah, okay. You cannot support him. You have to be on
No,
my
I
side.
can't support him.
See,
But just that it's too strange.
see,
It
whom
is
are
the
you
law.
supporting in this matter?
Yeah,
It,
I support
I am.
you. I don't support you. It's
I support
possible.
you.
I think it's possible because the GRA will know that you have a data that a person is supposed to give you this amount. So since you don't want to pay, they should just go straight to that person and take the money on your behalf, and it's fair.
Yes, let's hear from others.
Okay, sir, it's not
Yes,
really fair, but that's the law. So there's nothing anyone can do.
I like that. That is the law.
The law
When
mandates
it
them
comes
to
to
do that, and so
taxation,
that is why they are able to do that to third parties. The law
when
mandates
it
them
comes to
to.
taxation, we take emotions out. Okay? we take emotions out. My friend who is saying it's not fair, this is section 60 of the Revenue Administration Act, third-party debtors. I want you to read for us whilst we conclude on our discussion today. A very interesting one. You will enjoy this class, I promise you. Who is reading for us?
I'm reading.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Third-party debtors. Where a taxpayer fails to pay tax on the due date, the Commissioner General may serve a notice in writing on the third-party debtor.
Serve what?
As
A
soon as
notice in writing on the third party.
in
The
writing,
taxpayer here is Collins, okay? And the third party is who? Who is the third party debtor from the scenario?
Irene.
Alberta.
Alberta.
Read it,
So please
please.
read on.
Okay.
as soon as practicable, after service of the notice on the third-party debtor, the Commissioner General shall serve the taxpayer with a copy of the notice. The third-party debtor shall, on receiving the notice under subsection 1, pay to the Commissioner General by the date specified in the notice an amount not exceeding the lesser of A, the tax due by the taxpayer, B, the money owed by the third party debtor to the taxpayer, and the amount specified in the notice. 4. The date for payment specified in the notice shall not be before either A, the date the money owed by the third party debtor becomes payable to the taxpayer or is held on behalf of the taxpayer, or the date the third party debtor is served with the notice. So please can you scrap? 5. A third party debtor who is served with a notice under subsection 1 shall not pay any amount to the taxpayer until the Commissioner General withdraws the notice.
Okay, we can end there. This was just to introduce you to the concept of third-party debtors. Okay? Third-party debtors, very important. So this evening, we have been looking at tax administration. We started by looking at the fact that before the formation of Ghana Revenue Authority, we used to have the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, Value Added Tax Service, VAT Service, SEPS, okay, Customs, Excise, and Preventive Service, and the Revenue Governing Agency. It was these 4 different bodies that came together to become what we now call the Ghana Revenue Authority. We read from the act that establishes the Ghana Revenue Authority, Act 791, that they are the body mandated or responsible for administering tax laws in the country. Okay? Ghana Revenue Authority has a board. Okay? From the board, it comes to the Commissioner General. Who knows the Commissioner General? From the Commissioner General, we have 3 commissioners. 1 commissioner for Domestic Tax Revenue Division. We have a commissioner for Customs and another commissioner for Support Services Division. Please, are you following the discussion? Hello.
Yes, please.
So I'm saying that GRA has a board.
Yes.
From the board, it comes to the Commissioner General. The Commissioner General reports to the board.
Yes.
I think the board chairman for GRA is it Jogate? He was recently appointed. That fat man. I don't know if I got the name Jogate. I think so. Then the Commissioner General, assisted by 3 commissioners, the Commissioner for Domestic Tax Revenue Division, the Commissioner for Customs, and the Commissioner for Support Service
Administration
Division. Okay. We went on to talk about the objectives or the objects of Ghana Revenue Authority. We identify, I think, as many as 8 objectives of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And I mentioned that at least you should know 5 of them. Very important. We proceeded to talk about the functions of the Ghana Revenue Authority. That's where we did a lot of work today. We looked at how the GRA identify taxpayers or fines taxpayers through the use of TIN and TCC. We went into the law to see transactions that require the use of TCC and TIN. We looked at how GRA assesses taxpayers through the use of returns. We have read in the law what a return is. We have seen examples of returns. We have also seen in the law that taxpayers can be assessed through an audit. Okay, even under assessment, we looked at self-assessment. We looked at what? Commissioner General's assessment. We looked at an adjusted what? Assessment. And we mentioned that even when you have been issued with an assessment and there is a serious omission, the Commissioner General can issue you an adjusted what? Assessment. True or false? True or false?
True.
Good. That's what we have been talking about. So I think this is where we'll end today's discussion. If there are any questions, I'm ready to have them. If not, I would need 2 of you to just summarize everything that we have discussed today before we bring the meeting to an end.
I have a question, sir. Or should I say a plea? I joined late, so I would be grateful if this could be put on the WhatsApp platform. Thank you.
What should be put on the WhatsApp platform?
The class that we are just about to end.
The recording should be put on the WhatsApp platform. Or what? Hello? Please, our meeting time is 6 p.m. Make it a point to join on time. If you join late, you would have yourself to blame. Okay? I'm pleading with you. You see, the way we are talking slowly, by the time you realize we've covered sufficient grounds. So I'm pleading with you, don't join the class late. Let's all try to join on time. Okay? If you have a network issue, I understand. The recordings will be shared either on the website or on a Telegram page. We'll take a decision on that. If there's any other question, I'm ready to have it. Sylvia, your hand is still up. Do you have a question?
No, please, it's a mistake.
Okay. Please, any other question? Okay. If there's no question, I need two people to just summarize all that we have been discussing today before we bring today's session to an end. Oh, my people, don't disappoint me. Oh. I know you really enjoyed the session and you understand what we have looked at.
Audrey, what is all this?
Please, I was kindly asking or pleading if you can make time for an additional meeting in the course of weekend, preferably to augment today's class. Okay. Members, do you want a weekend class in addition to this?
Yes, sir.
You want a weekend
Yes,
class?
sir. So that we can finish early and then revise.
So that would be great.
Okay, so I want you to discuss amongst yourself, nominate a course rep and an assistant. This is what we are going to do. I am here to serve you, okay? Myself, my other colleague, Uncle Johnson, and our lead tutor, Boss Bill, are here to serve you, just to ensure that you pass and pass very well. But you would have to play your part whilst I play my part. We are going to form a group discussion and agree on the time when we would all be meeting for our group discussion. Please, is that okay with us?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I want us to start early so that we can finish on time. And if you start early, I can tell you that you will not panic on exam day. You will walk confidently into the exam hall, knowing that your pass mark for principles of taxation is secured. So you can have that discussion amongst yourself and let me know the time that you want us to have the class on Saturday. Okay. Or you want me to appoint somebody as a course rep? Let's do that before we end. Let's nominate somebody as a course rep and the assistant. This one, fast, no time to waste.
Gender balance.
Okay.
Alberta for the class rep.
Supported by
Edwin.
Supported by me. And Edwin will be the assistant class rep.
Edwin.
Edwin will be the coordinator. And you will support Alberta. Alberta, do you
Irene, Irene should be the coach, but I'll support her.
No, I nominate Alberta.
Alberta, the mantle has fallen on you.
Okay.
Thank you for accepting it. So who is supporting Alberta? Can I hear from the person? The person supporting Alberta, can I hear from you?
Irene should support Alberta.
Say OT.
Oh, where are the men?
Say OT. OT.
Who is OT?
Say Osei Tutu.
Osei Tutu. Is he on the call? He has dropped off. Oh.
Say he's on it.
I need gender balance. Okay.
Say please,
Yes,
Edwin.
Edwin.
Yes.
Has Edwin spoken today?
Yes, he was the one reading.
Oh, okay. Edwin, can I hear from you? Are you accepting the appointment? Hello, Edwin.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Edwin. You'll be the assistant course rep, right?
Oh, oh,
Just accept it for me, okay?
sure, boss.
Thank you. And who is the coordinator? Axis, watch your post in no bi.
Okay, I'll be the coordinator.
Aha. Okay, so please discuss amongst yourself. Let me
Okay.
know the specific time on Saturday that you want us to meet.
Okay.
And I'll prepare accordingly.
Okay, sir.
Okay, on that note, I would like to thank all of you for availing yourself for this class. We always start with prayer and we end with prayer.
Thank you,
So,
sir.
Collins, kindly pray with us before we end this evening session. Collins.
Sir, please excuse me. So how will the groupings be made? Should we
Okay, so I would contact you tomorrow. It's late now,
okay.
and I'll share some few ideas with you.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Collins, if you can pray with us.
Okay, sir. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you very much this evening for giving us a wonderful session. And we ask that whatever we have been taught, and whatever we have come to learn today, and whatever we'll have to learn, to be able to back up our knowledge and remember on the exam day, Father, we ask that you grant us your spirit so that all this will be possible for us. And at the end of this day, we'll glorify you through our hard work and our excellence. This and many other blessings we ask through your Son, our King Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.